Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Barbara and my channel is all about mapping your cycle, my cycle, sharing information about that with you. And today's topic is very important because it's really, as all the other topics that I shared before, they're all connected. And it's so important to understand that as we are changing through our cycle, as our needs are changing, that's the same for sexuality and what we experience and what we like and what we dislike during the changes that are happening throughout the month. So if you're a little familiar, then you may know that we recognize 4 different phases throughout our cycle. I'll summarize it just very shortly for you so you'll know. We recognize 4 phases, which is follicular, that's active, ovulatory, luteal, and menstrual. We all know the ovulatory and menstrual. We are very aware of the menstrual phase, and we've been taught about the ovulatory phase. Probably we don't know as much about the follicular and luteal phase. The follicular is right after the menstrual. Follicular phase is just like spring. So everything is coming to life, there's a lot of energy going on, and everything is exciting and new and starting fresh. Then there is ovulatory phase, which is, like we're at the peak with our hormones, testosterone and estrogen. We feel energized, we feel happy, we feel nice and comfortable, usually, unless we're isolated and not around people that might make us grumpy and unhappy. And then there is luteal phase, that is the longest one. And archetypally, we could actually recognize, we could split this luteal phase into 2 different archetypes, which is mother and queen. And then there is the menstrual phase, which we all know. If you've seen some of my videos, then you might know more information. If you don't, just go and watch them, because I'm sharing every week more about my cycle, how I am mapping my cycle, why is it important to understand when we are different, how we are different, what's changing, and how to use those changes to our benefit, and what can we do and how can we balance our hormones actually, because it is all about balancing our hormones that are changing throughout the month. And those big drops are happening because our inadequate diet or because of too much stress that we cannot manage or don't know how to manage. And it's all coming to really understand yourself and really understand your body, how it works. You don't need to know the exact processes, because probably there is still so much to learn, but at least some parts that can be beneficial to know. So let's get to it. During the follicular phase, we are very energized and we have a lot of energy, so this time is perfect for exploring our sexuality, exploring what we may like, something new, trying something new. We are gonna be pretty easily aroused usually, so we don't need that much lubricant to use, and we're gonna be excited about new positions and trying something new with our partner. Or if you don't have a partner, maybe you might be experimenting with yourself, and just to try out what pleasures you, what is fun for you, what doesn't feel good, and really explore. And there is the ovulatory phase, and during the phase it's just very short time. It could be like 2 to 4 days, and during the time our hormones are at its peak. So we usually feel lots of excitement to meet new people or to communicate and be around people, and just that's a good time to really tell your partner what you desire, what you like, what is happening, because during the time you're gonna be very skillful at communicating what really your needs are and what you like and what is pleasuring you. So in this time, you can try to play with just extending the orgasm, so you can have multiple orgasms and you can really enjoy yourself. It's also a great time to meet new partner if you don't have any, because you're gonna feel very nice. You're gonna feel desirable and sexy and really just radiating happiness and joy usually. So this is a good time to go on a date and meet somebody. And if you have a partner, just enjoy this time to go out and have fun. And when you come home, have a good time and fun at home too. Then there is the luteal phase, which I mentioned, that can be split into two different parts. In the first half of the phase, of the luteal phase, you are still gonna have a lot of stamina and your hormones are still pretty high up, so you are still gonna enjoy yourself and you're gonna have fun with sexuality and exploring and maybe have some quickie in. In the other half of the phase, we're getting to the point when we're very focused on what doesn't work, what's not happening good, what should be changed. And so we are very focused on details, and really we have the critical mindset, which is very helpful and it's important too. During this time, it's actually very beneficial to check in with yourself and see, like, am I happy? Is this working for me? Being in a relationship, is it good for me? Is it working? Is it not working? Why is it not working? What's happening? What can I change? How can I change something that it's not working, for example? And then later on communicate that to your partner. Try to observe at least 2 or 3 your cycles and see if the patterns are going to be repeating, and then you can determine whether something has to be changed. And it's a good time to really explore what changes may take the place. A lot of the times in this culture we are faced with like, oh, she's PMSing, she's like too crazy, don't talk to her. But it's because a lot of the times we don't know how to express ourselves and our needs, because as women, a lot of the times we were conditioned to be there for others, to care for others, but not to be there for ourselves. So this is a good time to learn and to explore, what am I not enjoying? What am I not really feeling like it's serving me, and how can I change that? What can be done? How can I be there for myself more? And of course, like, not to expect so much from others, like just be there for yourself, but of course, like, to be able to communicate what does pleasure you or not, what makes you happy and what not. In the second half of the luteal phase, it's actually very beneficial for a woman to use some lubricant, because the vaginal canal is getting drier, the hormones are not producing so much fluid, so it could be kind of dry, and it might not be as pleasant. So definitely use some lubricant. I usually use the coconut oil because it's natural, I like it, it's like, I like the smell. Maybe somebody doesn't like the smell. I'm sure that there are so many different lubricants. You also have to try which one might benefit you. I also like to use some organic essential oils, but be careful with some of the essential oils. Like, I have some that are, you know, like very oily, and they can be used, like they can be even eaten, so it's safe. Be aware that, you know, your vaginal canal can be very sensitive, so be careful with essential oils. I definitely would recommend to use some lubricant. And there is the menstrual phase, which is bleeding, and a lot of times, like, or culturally, it's the dirty time, like you have to hide yourself and pretend like, you know, it doesn't exist almost. And many people might have problem having sex during this time, which I totally understand. But at the same time, like, you can make love in a bathtub, or you can make love if the mood strikes. There is no need to opt yourself out of having pleasure, because having pleasure actually can help with easing some cramps if you have any, because flashing oxytocin in your body is gonna be helpful for easing up the pain if you have any. So don't try to shy away from having some pleasure, sexual pleasure during menstrual time, if it's the right time and if it's with the right partner, and if it's not, maybe it's just with yourself. And it's just about exploring. Don't be afraid to explore what happens behind closed doors. It's totally your time and it's private, so you don't have to talk about it with anybody. I want to talk about it because some people are just way too shy to even explore the idea. As women, we have a lot of menstrual times, and it changes also throughout the years. When I was 20 years old, I would express my sexuality a different way, and now as I turn 40, I'm expressing myself sexually also very different. That also has to be taken into consideration, because you're gonna feel differently when you're, for example, pregnant, or when you give birth to a baby, and when you're breastfeeding, if you're breastfeeding, and when you're exhausted. And there's so many different variations of how we're experiencing and exploring our sexuality. As women, we have tendency to take it really hard on ourselves and be hard on ourselves. So take it easy, just be gentle with yourself and explore and observe that you are changing throughout the month. Your needs are changing, and it's very normal that they are changing. And sometimes you're gonna have like very high libido, and you're gonna feel like super sexual and like desirable, and like you want to express yourself sexually, and sometimes you won't, and that's totally okay. Don't let anybody to talk you into having sex with them when you don't feel like it. It's never okay. There always should be mutual consent, and your body speaks the truth. So if you don't feel like you want to make love, there is a reason. It could be, for example, that there is some vitamins deficiency in your body, or a hormone disbalance, which is totally fixable. You can start focusing on that and see if it's because you're eating certain foods or not eating certain foods, and then you can add the dots, and you can just like see the bigger picture in 2 or 3 cycles. Like really, like you're not gonna see the changes or the differences if you're just gonna observe only 1 cycle. You have to take the time to observe 2 or 3 at least, to see if there is something occurring repetitive and or not. For example, with the vitamins, if we have B vitamins deficiency, that definitely is going to lower our libido. For men, if they don't have enough zinc, it can very much lower their testosterone, and therefore their sexual desires and pleasure. Also magnesium, I want to read this to you because it's pretty important, and I would not remember all the like technical or like very scientific approach. So magnesium can be found in foods like almonds, avocados, dark leafy greens, and watermelon. And it reduces the amount of testosterone that binds to SHBG, allowing more of the hormone to remain in the bloodstream. Higher levels of the bioactive free testosterone leads to more sexual desire. Magnesium also reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression. That is super important, according to a 2017 study in PLOS ONE, which sets you up for enhanced enjoyment. Then it's important to have balanced your omega-3 fatty acids, and also take some probiotics supplements, because if your guts are not healthy, you're not going to enjoy yourself either. It's really important to overall balance your hormones and your vitamins to truly feel good about yourself, feel good in your body, and be healthier and happier and just enjoy yourself. As I mentioned, that the magnesium is very important to really keep your body at check, because like if we don't have enough magnesium, it's very likely that we can get into anxiety and depression. With all the stress that we're facing nowadays, there's so much stress coming at us at all times, and it's very difficult to stay calm and peaceful and be okay if we don't have the right amount of vitamins and hormones in our body. So this is very essential for enjoying yourself and being healthy and well, and enjoy your sexuality fully, and embrace what's really good for you and what feels good. Life's too short, and we're not here for too long, so you better start exploring and mapping your cycle to see what can be done, what can you change, how can you cater to your needs, and how can you supplement maybe when you need it. Because we are here to live our life to its fullest and really enjoy it, and not to suffer through it. I'm here to tell you that, to remind you that. I hope that you're gonna take it to your heart and start exploring and see how it works for you. Well, thank you so much for watching my video. I'm glad that you watched it. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel. I'm posting videos every week, but every other week is in English. So one week is in Czech, 1 week is in English, and I explore the cycle, how to map it, how to just like really observe and see what's happening throughout the cycle, and how all the aspects of our life can be enhanced and better if we really cater to our differences that are happening, and like how are we changing throughout the cycle. That's my passion, and I'm happy to share it with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you next time. Have a beautiful day. Bye!